Token Vaping, guys. Today's juice review is going to be a add-on for the line that I was doing in multiple videos. I basically was doing one for each flavor. It just seemed a little bit easier for this particular line just to break it up. So the line that I'm doing is Snake Oil Premium. I know you guys have seen them on social media. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. You can email them. They do have their own website. Just hit them up to thevapeshore.com. And you know, it's a pretty solid line so far. If you've checked out my other videos that I've done on them, I've done Onyx, Sapphire, and Emerald. So we're about halfway down. There's six flavors in the line total. I've already done 3, so check out those other videos if you're interested in to know their flavor profiles and everything else. Since this is a business that was it's been operational since May of 2014. It is family owned and operated. It's based out of Toronto, Canada. They do offer 5 nicotine levels, which is actually really cool because one of them is a 1.5, which not a lot of companies do. Everybody's always concerned, you know, when they are able to finally get down to a 3 nic, but they're worried that going to a 0 is too big of a jump, and for some people it is. So having that 1.5 in between the 0 and the 3 is actually really, really nice because it lets you wean even further down, but it also does help you just that much more to either eventually a 0 or even at a 1.5 that's almost next to nothing. So it's definitely nice that they are offering that. But like I said, it is a 0, a 1.5, a 3, a 6, and a 12. And on the site, it is offered in a 30 mil and a 120 mil, and the prices are on there according as well. Now, the cool thing that I liked about it, and most of you that do watch my videos, you do know that I am a big sucker for packaging. I'm not a huge fan of some of the ones that are out there that are literally like either photoshopped or copied pictures directly from what the flavor is supposed to be, or the overly, now this is where I get a little different. There are some that are really overly cartoony, some that are really overly bright and colorful, and it gives off a bad impression, so to speak, because then it looks more childish or more patterned for kids, even though, you know, I mean, especially with the regulations, you have to be 18 or older to purchase anything anyway. However, it's just, if you can make it look less childish, I guess the better it is. But a lot of the particular packaging, bottles, labelings, logos, and stuff that I'm a big fan of are the ones that are just really well done, or just little add-ons like this one here for snake oil. Now, if you've never dealt with them or have never seen how they're handled or transported and things like that, you may not get it. But snakes in general, like when you wrangle them up and you get them ensnared and you're putting them in something to transport them, a lot of times you'll see them in big burlap bags like this. This is what the juice comes in. It also has their logo right here, Snake Oil Premium. This is a really cool touch. You know, it's not something over the top, so to speak, but it's just a little something that they throw in here that makes it kind of, you know, it fits their theme, it fits the name of their line as well. So this to me is really, really cool. Now, some other people might differ with that opinion, and that's fine. You know, just like vaping, my opinion that I give is not meant to be law, it's not meant to be binding. You know, it's just basically my impression, my take on what it is, and hopefully just as by my description and by my explanation, it helps give you a little more of an informed base to go off of, so that you get a more well-rounded picture, so to speak, to base your decision off of. Everybody's got a difference of opinion. Everybody has different vaping tastes, preferences, and abilities and things like that. So not everybody's going to take to it the same way, and that's fine. That's what makes the vaping community so cool, though, is the huge diversity to it. So please, don't ever think that I'm trying to pass my word off as law. It's not. It's just my opinion. So with that, since I'm doing single bottles for the videos, basically they pretty much will all be first vape, first impression. And since there's only 3 now, I'm kind of limited to which ones I can do. So without looking further ado, the one that I'm doing is Opal. I guess I should have read it first before I held it up. And these are the bottles, as you can see. It says snake oil. It does have the simpler looking snake design on there, premium liquid right in here. It does have the warning and ingredients labels. And again, because this is coming out of Canada and they do speak French up there as well, this is really cool because one side's in English, the other side is in French. So that's really cool there. It has the nicotine level here and the mix ratio, which is a 75-25 for this one. But that's really neat that they accommodate both sides. Now, again, regulations have passed. However, most of these ones I have acquired before the regulations went into effect, which is why a lot of them don't have seals. Now, with it being Canada, because it's not part of the United States, regulations are a little different, so I'm not sure if they still have to follow it if they're shipping stuff into the States. But that's the main reason why you don't see that. So a lot of other ones that I've been starting to get, as I'm getting other ones to do video or future videos for, since they were after the regulations, they are coming safety sealed and wrapped as well now by regulation law. So that's pretty cool that everybody's accommodating by that. So now Opal here is peanut butter. That's actually all it says is the peanut butter you've been waiting for, creamy and sweet with a lip-smacking finish. Now this should be interesting because most of the peanut butter flavors that I've actually tried have all had something else mixed into them, whether it's a peanut butter and jelly of some sort, peanut butter and jam, peanut butter and custard, a peanut butter and something. This is actually, I think, the first one I've come across that's basically supposed to just straight be peanut butter. So this should be interesting to see because it's one of those flavors that when you mention it to somebody about that's what the flavor profile is, they look at you kind of funny. I see it all the time. So I'm actually really interested to see what a straight peanut butter flavor vape would actually taste like. So we're going to go ahead and bust this open and we're going to find out what this will taste like. And it, like I said, it does not have a safety wrap, but it does have a safety ring. So I'm going to go ahead and bust that open. We're going to check this out and I'm going to go ahead and drip this in brand new, just wicked it for the video itself, untouched. And it's Texas Tough Cotton, which is the only cotton that I use since I have first tried it. It's not a pansy-ass cotton ball. I really, really enjoy it. I have not, now don't get me wrong, I have not tried every type of wicking cotton that there is out there. I am trying to reach out to some of the companies to see if I can get some sample packs and try different ones out to see, how they measure up and everything else. But up to now, so far, out of all the cotton that I've tried, Texas Tough Cotton has really worked well for me. It works really easily. I don't have any trouble with it. It doesn't have a whole lot of particles and things like that in it. It holds flavor very well. One thing I like about it is that when on like this right now, our first wick, you don't get a really strong cottony taste off of it. And I don't oversaturate my cotton right off the bat. So it's nice to know that I'm not going to get that real cottony afterburn taste, so to speak. But it holds up really well. It is durable, and it does last a pretty decent amount of time for cotton. So on Instagram, it's Texas Tough Cotton if you're interested. So I'm going to go ahead and push down and bust this open. Listen. There it goes. And it has that safety ring right there. So it's pretty solid, so it works really well. Peanut butter. I don't know. I don't want to say I was expecting something else because it literally just says peanut butter, but that's definitely peanut butter. So I'm going to go ahead and juice this up and we will vape peanut butter. And it doesn't look superly colored, which is good, which means that it shouldn't be super heavy on the cotton or coils as far as gumming them up. And while I'm doing this real quick, because as I said, when I busted the safety ring and you heard the pop on it, anytime you make a purchase of an item, doesn't matter where it's from, doesn't matter what it is, but anytime that you have anything that has some kind of security safety measure taken to it, whether it's a seal, a wrap, a ring, a cap, a lid, a stamp, whatever, at any time whatsoever when you purchase it and you go to use it, if something about it just does not sit well with you or makes you feel uneasy or uncomfortable with it, just don't use it. Contact the shop that you got it from, contact the company that made it, contact the company that distributes it to the stores, contact whoever you need to contact to find out what needs to be done so that they can provide you with the item in the proper safety setup and everything else. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your health and safety. I mean, that's the number one priority. If you're not safe or comfortable with it, why use it? And if you don't feel comfortable using it, why purchase from the company anymore? So definitely speak up, say something, let it be known that most companies will take steps to make sure that the situation is rectified as quickly as possible. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and juice this. We are going to vape peanut butter. I'm actually kind of excited. And this is at, as always, for what I start at, 75 watts. Snake oil premium liquids, Opal. It's a peanut butter vape flavor. It's kind of weak, sorry about that. Okay, so again, because it was the first wick, flavor is going to be a little weak. No cottony burn, no throat hit, which is really cool. So, because it's 70-30, you're never really sure. Some do, some don't. This is 75-25, so it it definitely does not have one at all or a feel of one. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. No, it is peanut butter, but it's not. Sorry. Sometimes I have a bad habit. Once I start doing those, I end up doing it all the time. Um, okay, so this is what I'm getting out of this. It does have a creamy finish to it. It's not. It doesn't taste like a chunky peanut butter or anything like that. It does taste more like the creamy peanut butter. It does have a smoothness to it. It does have a mellow flavor. It's not. I admit I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting it to be either really strong or have a really sweet taste to it, and it has neither. It is not an overly powerful flavor hit, but it's very solid and it's very smooth and it's very abundant. I mean, it lasts. It's not hit you right off the bat and then it's gone. But it's also not very sugary tasting or very sweet like a processed or I guess you could say like a generic type peanut butter. It's actually really comfortable. It's really smooth. It's not really, like I said, it's not sugary sweet or anything like that. I'm going to drip a little bit more because there's one thing I'm getting out of this that I was not expecting, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's just the way that this is coming off. Okay. So, as you've seen, I've juiced it up a few different times, and I've been vaping on it a little bit just to try to see if it was just me. Um, like I said, it does have a peanut butter taste. It is smooth. It's not harsh by any means. Um, but the more I vape it, I keep tasting, or the first thing that pops into my head when I taste it is like those peanut butter like the peanut butter chew candies. Because right at the tail end of it, it almost has that finished taste of like the little peanut butter chews. Um, it's not, but it's hard to explain because it's not a candy taste that I'm getting out of it, but it just has that aftertaste of like the little chews instead of like eating peanut butter out of the jar itself directly. Now, the first inhale of it is absolutely a peanut butter taste. It just, that tail end that I keep hitting on, it just has that like that peanut butter taffy chew almost style flavor. Now, like I said, it may just be me. That just may be how I'm reacting to it. Somebody else may just taste it and think they're just tasting straight peanut butter, which is great. Either way, it's still a smooth, creamy peanut butter flavor. The vape itself is still very solid. Like I said, there is no throat hit. The clouds are really decent. I mean, they're solid in point, in fact. I'm going to go ahead and, if you see right here, I bumped it up to 85 watts. I'm going to just see if raising the temperature up a little bit and the power is going to, if it affects the flavor of it a whole lot. Okay, so bumping it up by 10 watts from 75 to 85, it did change the flavor a little bit. I do get a little bit stronger of a creamier hit to it. Not so much a bad thing as far as flavor wise. It just seems like this one just worked a little bit better when I raised up the wattage a little bit. So if you vape low, it may not give you the full flavor out of it as it would at a higher wattage. Now, I'm not saying that you have to crank it up to over 100 or anything like that, but it definitely tastes a little different at 85 than it did at 75. So just depending on what your vaping range is, for a flavor like this, you just might need to bump it up a slight bit just to see if you can pull a little bit more flavor out of that. Not a deal breaker in any way, shape, or form, but it does change the flavor up a little bit. But again, like I said, not drastically to where it tastes completely different. It's just a little bit stronger version of what I tasted at 75 watts. So regardless either way, it's still a good peanut butter flavor. Like I said, it's not overly powerful and it's not overly sugary tasting style and like that. Clouds are really good, no throat hits, solid flavor. It's a pretty smooth vape. So overall, you know, flavor profiles for what they're supposed to be, they are matching up. Snake oil so far, 4 out of 4. So it's definitely on a really good roll here. So we'll see if the next two videos for the next two flavors hold up to that as well. So snake oil, guys, thank you so much for the continued privilege and honor for doing the reviews on your specific flavors. It is a great joy to be able to do this, and I'm enjoying the different taste palettes that you guys are offering because they are pretty diverse. They are spread across the board. They're not all centered on one type of flavor, and that's what you made 6 different versions of. They are all completely different, and that's really cool. So thank you for that. Guys, check them out. They are on Instagram and Facebook. Snake Oil Premium Liquids. Definitely hit them up. Mention it to your shop if they're looking for something a little unique, a little different, that has a big diversity in flavor wise. If they're wanting to try to cover more flavor profiles that, you know, they don't normally carry. But definitely reach out to them, have your shop reach out to them. It's definitely worth the effort as well. So guys, as always, I'm Token Vaping. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your support and all the people that take the time to watch a few minutes of my quirkiness doing this. Anything that I can do to help enhance your vaping experience, that is the whole reason why I do this. That is the only point why I do this. So definitely hit me up if there's a specific video or question that you have or anything that I can answer to give you better knowledge about your vaping and finding out how to make it better for you. I'm here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest. Anything that I can answer and help you out with, just let me know and I will. If you have not, if there's anybody out there that still has not joined any type of the advocacy groups, it does not cost anything to join. It does not cost anything other than just support and your willingness to show that you are a vapor and you want your voice to be heard with the community as a whole, so that we can get our vaping rights to be allowed, so that we can vape freely. Because, you know, it's just, that's what this is all about. So if you have not, please do so. There are a bunch out there that are willing to fight the fight for all of us. Until next time, guys, as always, I'm Token Vaping. Vape on, vape strong, and have a good night.